continued from video 2. This is video 3. My thoughts are all disorganized, and I'm trying to relay as best as I can. Uh, yeah. After I was warranted to the psych ward in 2016 by my family, they sent me to St. Vincent's. They wrote a bullshit statement that I disagree with. I say 40% of the statement was true from like 8 years ago. 60% of what they said was a lie. The fucking doctor, instead of observing me, made a diagnosis off of the statement and not observation, and said I had psychosis at the time. This is February. My parents fucking locked me up on a Valentine's Day weekend, February 2016. And again, I have to go back on some things I need to talk about in a later video or as I continue. What's it called? I left the psych ward after a week or two. I said, take me to 2100. I said, fuck going to my family's house. 2100 Lakeside Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry is the main shelter in Cleveland. Instead of taking me to 2100, St. Vincent's transportation sent me to City Mission on East 55th and Carnegie. That's not where I wanted to fucking go. My family told them to take me to the City Mission. And the fucking Christians that fucking incarcerated me or put a forced civil commitment on me. And they did that to keep me out of the criminal justice system. They do that to Catholics, you know what I'm saying, that don't get a mental diagnosis because they rather psych their children to be in a mental health facility and deal with that as an alternative to the prison system. Personally, I'd rather be in a fucking prison system than the mental health system. I don't care about the perks, the mental health. I'd rather just deal with fucking prison, jail. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we all got to do it. And then, but it's not like that no more. And let me see where I'm getting off topic here. They sent me to St. Vincent's. Excuse me, City Mission. I instantly left. It was February. It was cold outside. I didn't have my gear with me, and I had no money. And I immediately went into the abandoned building on Cedar and East 71st, around that area, the electric company. When I went in there, I discovered right where they filmed the Avengers, there was this huge fucking red upside down satanic pentagram that stated, "Whoever walks on this will die in 7 days." So, me being a deliverance minister or involved in deliverance ministry and not scared of Lucifer or the occult ritual, I defied it. And I was looking out for people that were walking through there in the nighttime and didn't see it and then would accidentally have to walk over it. I took the curse off of them. I walked over it, crossed myself. I deliberately crossed the ritual, walked over it, crossed myself, and spit on it. Walked to 2100, was just on the streets for like a week. 2100, I couldn't go there. It was like there's too much stress, too much politics I had to stay away from. I got back to my parents' house, right? They let me in. My mother came home from work a couple days later, and what's it called? She wouldn't leave me alone. She wouldn't leave me alone. I woke up. She wouldn't leave me alone. I told her stop. I told her please stop. I told you stop. I'm gonna fucking react. I'm gonna flip out. I'm gonna flip out. Please stop. I told her 17 fucking times to please stop. 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 She didn't listen. I flipped out and fucking broke a mirror, bro. I threw I threw a phone at the mirror. They called the police. Police sent me to fucking Parma Hospital. No, well, they said we could either take you to the border of Parma, or we could. Why don't you just check yourself in, and you could stay there overnight, and then tomorrow You could leave. It's cold outside. I thought to myself, fuck it, that's what I'll do. They sent me into the psychiatric suicide room in a university backed, not at the time, Parma Hospital, with a security guard watching me 24/7 outside the door. They put me in the suicide room right next to the front desk. And I'm just sitting there the whole fucking time. And what's it called? I'm just thinking to myself, like, all right, whatever. And then the next day, I was woken up at 6 in the morning by a university doctor on the west side on the east side, University Hospital, on the video conference that, what's it called? I don't remember the conversation. And she forced me. She didn't let me leave the hospital. She forced me to go to Metro Psychiatric Hospital to get further evaluated. So the police lied to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they intentionally did it. I don't know if that was all set up. But what's it called? I think the police were honestly looking out for me like, yo, bro, just sleep there and you could leave. Or they knew that shit was going to happen. I don't know. But the university doctor fucking sealed my fate. Parma eventually became University Hospital, Parma Hospital, years later, for whatever reason. And what's it called? I was incarcerated for 54 or 51 days at Metro because this new doctor is accusing me of paranoid schizophrenia because she's talking to my mother, who works at Metro, behind the scenes. And she's not observing my behavior. She doesn't ride a bicycle. She doesn't have an active lifestyle. She has an inactive lifestyle. And she went to school at like Emory University in where Georgia, or excuse me if I'm Virginia, excuse me if I'm wrong. And she specialized in schizophrenia, quote unquote, treatment. So, anyways, she fucked my life up forever doing that shit. She was trying to put me on medication, and I'm like, I didn't know the legal processes at the time to write the letter to get out. People were telling me, bro, bite the bullet. People in the ward, they said, bite the fucking bullet, bro. They said, take the medication that she's trying to give you. And what's it called? In 13 days, if you're not a danger to yourself or others by law, they have to release you. I refused the medication the whole time I was in there.